Hi, guys. Good afternoon, and welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host, Eddie, and in today's video, I wanted to bring you a theory that recently came across my mind as I was watching. I had never done this before. I watched it as it came out episode by episode when the first season dropped, but starting yesterday, and I just finished now a few minutes ago, I binged the entirety of season 1 of the animated series Star Wars: The Bad Batch. And as I started rewatching the show, because I had seen it all before, but I just binged it all, and it was a lot of fun. As I started watching it, it got me wondering or thinking, how much longer can this show possibly go on for? Now, please be warned, before I go on, I may or may not be referring to spoilers from season 1 of Star Wars: The Bad Batch, and I'm definitely going to be referring to spoilers from the excellent film Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, because I'm going to be making comparisons and theorizing about it as well. So if you haven't caught up on Star Wars: The Bad Batch, or maybe you're watching it episode by episode, or you're binging it and you're not finished, watch this video with extreme caution. And if you haven't seen Rogue One, A, what the hell's the matter with you? B, watch out for possible spoilers, even though it's a 6-year-old movie at this point. So that being said, let's get right back to it. So the thought that crossed my mind while I was rewatching The Bad Batch is that the only way this show can end for real is if it has a Rogue One style ending. Now, the show is confirmed to have a second season. The second season was confirmed last year. I believe it's been in production since then. I don't know how much longer they have left to go, but it's a pretty safe bet that it'll be dropping around spring or summertime of this year, much how like the first season last year dropped on fittingly May 4th, which is Star Wars Day, for May the 4th be with you. Don't know if they'll stick to a similar release date or not, but chances are pretty good that season 2 of Bad Batch is dropping this year. They have not confirmed as to how many more seasons the show will go on for. So with that in mind, it got me thinking the only way they could wrap up the arc for the Bad Batch and Omega, who is now a part of the Bad Batch. She's the young female clone that we first met in the Bad Batch, first met back in season 1. The only way this particular series could end is in a Rogue One style ending, which basically means they all die heroically, if not somewhat tragically. What I mean by that is that is the only way I could see them foreseeably ending the path of these characters, because none of the Bad Batch or Omega has appeared in any live-action adaptation of any Star Wars film or TV show for that matter. And it seems unlikely that they ever will, because if they tried to do a live-action version of the Bad Batch, it would have to be Tamora Morrison, who currently plays Boba Fett and played the Jango Fett and the Clone Troopers in the live-action films and shows. And they would have to modify him, and they'd have to do like weird CGI versions of him, since the Bad Batch look much more distinguishable than regular clones. So that seems highly unlikely. And they would all have to be quite older too. Like they'd have to be the same age range as Boba Fett, because they all age the same, pretty much the same amount of time. So live action seems out of the question. And because the Bad Batch and Omega did not appear in the show Star Wars Rebels, which takes place about 15 or 20 years after the end of the Clone Wars and the rise of the Empire and the beginning of the Galactic Civil War, none of those characters appeared in Rebels at all, period. We saw a few clones like Rex, Gregor, and Wolf, but not once did we see the Bad Batch or Omega. So because they never appeared in Rebels, and they're probably not going to appear in any live-action film or TV show with Star Wars, they are most likely going to end their journey in this series, The Bad Batch. And I don't know how many seasons or stories you could do revolving just around the Bad Batch. There is a good amount of time between the early days of the Empire and the end of the Galactic Civil War. It's almost 20 years between the end of the Clone Wars and the beginning of the Galactic Civil War. You could arguably tell a lot of stories with those characters, but could they have an ending where they all end up surviving the Galactic Civil War and live out the rest of their days in peace? Seems unlikely. So my theory is that when this show does come to an end, no idea when that will be, which season it will be, because we don't even know how many seasons it's getting beyond season 2. My theory is that the final episode or perhaps the second to final episode in the final season, whenever that is that the Bad Batch will basically die saving themselves or saving their newfound allies, whether that's the Rebel Alliance or other good-natured characters they've teamed up with for whatever reason. You know, they will die heroically and in a sacrificial way that will be super impactful and meaningful to those who survive around them. And it's most likely going to be something to do with the Rebel Alliance. Maybe they undergo some secret mission that we've never seen done in any of the other films or never seen done in any of the other animated TV shows. But I believe the Bad Batch and Omega will all heroically, if not sadly, die in order to end this series, simply because these characters have never been seen or referenced in any other Star Wars show or film besides Clone Wars and this show. So I suspect when the time does come to end the Bad Batch, whenever that is, however many seasons they want to do, it is going to end with the Bad Batch and Omega all dying. It will be sad, but it will also be beautiful and emotionally satisfying, very similar to the ending of Rogue One. As sad as it was to see those characters die, we all knew that they didn't die for no good reason. They died for a very good reason, a very noble, heroic sacrifice with a beautiful, emotional, and above all, powerful ending to the excellent film that is Rogue One. I suspect with Dave Filoni running the show, because he is an absolute master at handling and telling Star Wars stories, whatever ending we do get with the Bad Batch, whether it ends with all of them riding off into the sunset or all of them dying heroically in the name of the Rebel Alliance or in the name of their new friends and allies that they make along the way, whatever happens to them, I'm sure it's going to be amazing and just as emotional and satisfying as the ending of Rogue One was. I just personally believe, don't want to sound like a negative Nancy, but I personally believe they are all going to die before the show ends or as the show ends, simply because we never see them or hear them mentioned or referenced ever again in any other Star Wars show or film. Then again, I could be completely wrong. Maybe they're going to pull something off where they don't die in the final season and they do live out the rest of their lives in peace amongst the New Republic somewhere as old men and a middle-aged or older woman in Omega's case. I don't know. It's just a theory, guys. None of this shit I'm saying has been confirmed or solidified as of today. So just take this all with a massive grain of salt. This is just a big theory of mine. I want to emphasize this is just a theory. I obviously have no idea of the inner workings at Lucasfilm or what goes on behind the scenes with Star Wars The Bad Batch. This is just my personal theory. Do not take this as solidified, confirmed information. It isn't. It is just a theory I had that came across my mind while rewatching The Bad Batch. Do you guys have any theories of your own as to what could happen with Clone Force 99? Let me know down below in the comments section. I hope you enjoy Star Wars The Bad Batch as much as I do. I'm very excited and intrigued for the second season, which will hopefully be with us some point later this year. Have an awesome rest of your day. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more theory videos like this one. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.